Here! A bastard! Come on, load in.
You carry the gift of Prometheus in your hand. Welcome, welcome. May I ask your name?
Yeah, you may.
It's a sincere pleasure to meet you. Tell me, what brings you all the way down here? Ah, Kabash. I know this man. He came through here some weeks ago. I will tell you everything I know, but first, a request. I have been living down here alone for many years, with nobody to talk to
Okay.
but myself. The one thing I long for above all else before I die is a good philosophical argument with somebody astute. I'm hoping that person is you. Let us find out with
Yeah,
this
that is-
simple question. Have you deduced the name of the god responsible for the Golden Rule? Excellent. I see you are indeed quite astute. Very few come to that realization before their time in the sun is over. Now, will you join me in a friendly Socratic dialogue? Good enough for me. Now, let me begin with a question. Would you say you know the difference between right and wrong?
Let's
And
see.
to what extent? In every situation?
In most.
So, you're not entirely confident. That is quite sensible. Indeed, I'm reminded of something Socrates once said. To paraphrase, better to know that you know nothing than to know nothing and think that you know. It is because knowledgeable people have learned enough to know they know very little in the broader scheme of things. You see, out there in the world, being uncertain about right and wrong was acceptable because our mistakes rarely had consequences. So we would tell lies and bend rules and turn a blind eye and rationalize, and yet still find a way to think of ourselves as good people. But under the Golden Rule, morality matters. The slightest wrongdoing could result in a mass execution. So to navigate this maze, we would have to be certain about the difference between right and wrong. Wouldn't you agree? That is an excellent question, and it leads directly to my next line of inquiry. So let me ask you this. Is there one system of morality which is always perfectly correct, which you could follow in every situation and always do the right thing?
Well. Is there one system of morality which always perfectly correct? Which could follow in every situation and always do the right thing? No, I don't think so.
Are you sure? Or is it possible that humans simply haven't figured out the right system yet?
I think there's no such thing as correct morality.
So is it up to each of us to decide what right and wrong mean to us individually? Or must we simply follow the laws and customs of whichever community we're in?
Well, we might have no the correct system. But what is a poison for me? It might be a remedy for someone else.
So if a man feels that stoning to death his unfaithful wife is right, then is it right?
No, that's absurd.
I agree. But why? Didn't you just say right and wrong depends on the individual?
If he feels it's right to kill his wife, then he is confused or sick.
I see. So you get to decide right from wrong. But people who see things differently are not allowed. What makes you special? Empathy, the emotion? Let me ask you this. Imagine you were forced to choose between the death of your beloved spouse and the death of two innocent strangers. Knowing there will be no legal consequences, who would you mark for death?
Well, on that that way, the two stranger. But I don't know.
Of course, everyone would. Our empathy, like a siren song calling us away from our true path, would lure us toward the greater evil. Can such a beguiling thing be a reliable cornerstone for anything, let alone the perfect moral code? Good. Never discourage anyone who continually makes progress, no matter how slow. Would you say you know the difference between right and wrong? You are an overthinker too. We're the same then. It is probably why I became a philosopher. But if you struggle with right and wrong normally, then down here with the golden rule, surely your struggle can only have become more difficult.
It is.
Well, that's reassuring. And the truth is, you're not alone. You see, out there in the world, being uncertain about right and wrong was acceptable because our mistakes rarely had consequences. So we would tell lies and bend rules and turn a blind eye and rationalize, and yet still find a way to think of ourselves as good people. But under the golden rule, morality matters. The slightest wrongdoing could result in a mass execution. So to navigate this maze, we would have to be certain about the difference between right and wrong. Wouldn't you agree? That is an excellent question. It leads directly to my next line of inquiry. So let me ask you this. Is there one system of morality which is always perfectly correct, which you could follow in every situation and always do the right thing?
No, I don't think so.
Are you sure? Or is it possible that humans simply haven't figured out the right system yet? After hundreds of years, and as many great thinkers dedicating their lives to these questions, what hope do we have if our best and brightest haven't been able to answer them? My point is this. I don't think anyone alive truly knows any hard and fast rules about right and wrong. If there is one thing I have observed about rules, it is that virtuous people do not need them, and evil people will always find a way around them. And so we must accept our limitations, and the sad truth that no human society will ever achieve the utopia for which it strives. In mathematics, we would call it an asymptote, a line that can be approached but never reached. Because the only way to create a utopia is with the ever-present threat of force, such as the Golden Rule. This and no other is the root from which a tyrant springs when he first appears as a protector. And life under tyranny is no utopia at all.
I agree.
I'm glad to hear that. In any case, thank you for humoring an old man. I would be happy to answer your questions.
Okay, where can I find Kabash?
I will tell you, but you may find him hostile. To prepare for your encounter, there are certain things you must know. Very few know this, but before the Romans came to this city, it was once entirely Greek. The architecture, the temples, and the people. When the Romans came, in typical fashion, they claimed it as their own, built over everything that could be built over, and renamed the things that could not. Thus, the shrine of Persephone became the shrine of Proserpina. And when they found an obelisk bearing the name Hades, they tore it off and replaced it with Pluto instead. And the city's dwindling Greek residents, witnessing this compulsive Roman conquest, decided to preserve what they could of their heritage. They gathered their art and valuables, secreted them away through the Temple of Demeter, and hid them here, out of reach of the Romans. However, there was one thing that always seemed out of place to me, and it is the very thing you seek. An even older plaque bearing an Egyptian inscription. We had no idea until years later when the first of my friends began to die. As a result of their deaths, we began to dig catacombs branching off from this cavern to lay them to rest. We extended the tunnel so far that we accidentally discovered another, an even older tunnel, which somebody had gone to great lengths to keep hidden. Suddenly it made sense why there was an out-of-place Egyptian plaque among our people's possessions. You see, we proud Greeks had thought the Romans beasts for stealing and corrupting our heritage. But it turns out this game has been going on much longer than any of us imagined. I think it is best you head through the catacombs and follow Kabash's trail.
Okay, what is in there?
There are certain things you must see for yourself. Take this key. You'll need it to open the gate.
Alright, thank you. What is your
You mean,
story?
how did I end up living alone in this cave with nothing but these relics of the past for company? It's a long story.
I am
I was
listening.
a quarrelsome young man. At 19, I left Corinth for Rome to study rhetoric at one of her finest academies, so I could argue more forcefully. Back then, I used to enjoy verbally sparring with everyone I could, and I was good. One night, I found myself in a tavern in an argument with a drunk mercenary.
A big
It
mistake.
became heated. He drew a gladius, and I won the argument, but lost my life. I woke up on the banks of the Styx at a campfire opposite Karen. Of course, I tried to persuade her to let me return, but even with all my skill, I failed. I settled in, made friends, and learned what I could, quickly realizing our little community faced certain death under the Golden Rule. So I began looking for a place to hide underground. Fortunately, I found this place waiting for me. You see, I was not the first to take refuge here. I returned to my friends above, persuaded them to join me, and 12 of us descended for the last time to live out our days hidden from Hades' tyranny.
Okay.
I fear that if you were to utter my name in the city, even by mistake, the Hades
No,
would
this
hear me
hermit.
and know I am still alive. Living in darkness is not without its challenges. The first challenge is diet. Fortunately, I found that eating fresh fish provides most of the nutrients I need. And sometimes, when there are Greek people living resurface at night and salvage the offerings they've left in the temple of Demeter. The greater challenge is the isolation, so I like to imagine arguments where I argue both sides. But, like so many things in life, arguments are better with a partner.
Okay. Well,
as you wish.
Let's just
I
go.
enjoyed our chat, but please keep my presence here a secret. Yes.
I will. All right. Ah, there's the door.
Ah, you've returned.
Alrighty. Let's see what is waiting for us here. An old skeleton laid to rest in the catacombs. Another old skeleton, so many old skeletons laid to rest. Okay, we have nothing here. Thank you. Locked from the other side. I have a bad feeling. A very bad feeling. Alrighty. Let's see. Ah, you bastard. You too. Bastards! How many of you are here? Quite a few of you, I see. Egyptian, the board for an ancient game called Senet, the rules for which are long forgotten. Sad. Okay. I wonder, can I go into the building? No. Unfortunately not. Alrighty. Alrighty. Is there anyone going to jump on me? Okay, that's every placket says the same. Okay, here is the guy who is not gonna be happy with us.
Stop. Do not come any closer. Who are you? I am Kabash. And let me guess. Another Greco-Roman come to loot and plunder the resting place of my ancestors, Trousers, boots, curious here. No, I suppose you do not. Then what do you want?
I'm just looking for an Egyptian plague.
To what end? That is welcome news. You really are not Greek or Roman, are you? I was planning to return it myself, but for now, I must remain. Here, take it and restore the honor of Osiris.
I will. Thank you.
Now, as for the other plaque.
The fourth plaque. You know about that?
Indeed, I have it right here. I stumbled across a collection of dusty curiosities while searching for a place to hide from the hungry children of Amit, and there it was. You may not. In fact, I am about to destroy it. Because it speaks a treacherous, blasphemous lie.
How so?
I will tell you, but first, do you know what this place is?
The Egyptian underworld.
It has a name, and
The
that is
Duat.
the Duat. See what has become of it. I have been down here for weeks, piecing together its story, and here is what I have learned. As Egypt declined and the Greeks had their turn to flourish, their souls came here in great numbers. But instead of adopting our ways, they copied and corrupted them. When they found the obelisk bearing the name Osiris, the true god of the underworld, they desecrated it, removing his name and replacing it with Hades. Even the ferryman of the dead, known to my people long before as Kerti, they renamed to Keron. As if that desecration was not enough, they built over this place, using it as the foundation for their own underworld, so that ours was forgotten. My only solace is that the Greeks then suffered the same fate when the Romans rose to power, renaming Hades to Pluto, and the cycle began anew. I am glad to hear it, which brings me to this other, fourth plaque. It is inscribed with a script I do not recognize, but it is ancient, almost as if it is older than the plaque bearing Osiris's name. But if that is so, it would imply the gods of Egypt are mere imitations too, copied and corrupted from an ancient people who prospered even before us, and that my people did to them what the Greeks and Romans did to us. But this, I cannot accept. I sense a deception. Perhaps it is the work of Set, the usurper, seeking to undermine Osiris once more.
What does the inscription say?
You will never know. This work of sacrilege must be destroyed, thrown into the black abyss below in Osiris's name.
No, don't do that.
You are too late. It is done.
Oh, you bastard.
It could not have gone any other way. It was Osiris's will. Now, the thing of evil you sought is gone. Why are you still here?
Okay. What is your story?
I am from Rakotis, which you may know as Alexandria, the name of the city the Greeks built over it. I was a fisherman, like my father before me. Since the Romans had taken over from the Greeks, I took the opportunity to learn Latin and eventually traveled to Rome. When the fires broke out last year, I tried to help. I gathered terrified locals into my boat and led many of them to safety farther along the Tiber. On my 7th trip, a passenger demanded I wait for his brother. But we were full to almost sinking, and smoke was all around us. I told him his brother would have to save himself, and he tried to bribe me by placing a coin into my hand. When I refused, he drew a dagger and thrust it between my ribs. I awoke on the banks of the river to a stranger wearing a ram headdress. He said his name was Kirti, and at the time, I simply thought him odd. It did not dawn on me until much later that he was the Kirti, the ram-headed ferryman described in the Book of the Dead.
Okay.
Good. Be gone from this place. Wait. You are planning to go down there. I see it in your eyes.
Definitely.
You would plunge into the depths of the Duat with no way back up. Madness.
I will find a way back up.
We shall see.
Oh my. Oh my. Horror time. Stupid bugger. Throw that shit down. Oh, these are Assyrians or Babylonians. Oh wait, there is the plaque. I forgot to take it. It would be a very big mistake. Nergal. Okay, let's see what's gonna happen. There will be so many of these buggers, I am 110% sure. Wow. Okay, cannot go there. Can you let me out, folks? A makeshift barricade. An arrow that set off barricade. It looks like these Sumerians were trying to defend themselves from something. I think I know what they were trying to defend themselves. Yeah, it shows go that way. Okay, I might need some stranger heed the final word of Nam Kuzu. Bear witness to our aftermath and lament us. Okay. Both of you are watching me. Okay, what if I'm standing on this shit? A corroded breastplate with Sumerian markings on it. It appears to be a pressure plate for some kind of trap. I think for that kind of trap. Jesus Christ! Jeez! Holy moly! Okay, I think I am going to flood the whole place. Holy crap. Okay, I do not like this place. For sure. Okay. I believe I need to break this thingy as well. Okay, the water comes in. I don't really know what is gonna happen, but I do not like what I see.
When I told you that you would not find a way back up, that was not a prediction. That was a promise.
Oh, shut up.
Die here. I disagree. I warned you against coming down here, against perpetuating this sacrilege, but you persisted. You
come on!
Undermined and dishonored the
You
true God of the
fanatic.
underworld. How
Religious
did you think this
fanatic.
would end, if not with bloodshed? Very well, I will listen. But if I sense deception, or if you further insult my gods, I will carry out my threat. So tell me, why should I let you live after you salvaged this instrument of blasphemy?
If someone can be destroyed by the truth, it deserves to be destroyed by the truth. There's no shame in building on the works of people who came before you. I'm just trying to replace all plagues taken from the desecrated obelisk. Oh,
Why? To what end?
I'm hoping it will earn me an audience with the god of the underworld.
But why? What business could you have with Osiris? Doubtful. What do you know about honoring the Lord of Silence?
Nothing really, but does anyone really know much about him?
You speak the truth. Indeed, it seems we have all been deceived. Many of my ancestors endured great hardship to live good lives so that we may descend to the Duat in death and be judged accordingly. We prepare to have our hearts weighed on Anubis' scales and to swear ourselves innocent of sin before the 42 assessors of Ma'at. And yet, I arrive here to find the Book of the Dead contained only a seed of truth. And now, I ask myself, did our priests steal and embellish the stories of an older people and feed us lies all our lives simply to trick us into obedience? Blasphemer! You have sealed your own fate.
A bastard.
Good. I welcome it. You see, the philosopher told me that each time it breaks, Osiris bellows with rage, and his voice shakes the very foundations of the earth. I can only hope one more tremor will lay waste to this fragile place once and for all, and you along with it.
The many shall suffer for the sins of the one.
Bastards! I will be fucking dead. They're gonna hit me one more time. Then I'm dead. But at least I have 2 plagues. Actually, yeah, 2. If I wait, I might... Yeah, my life is coming back. So I maybe have a chance. Ah, the bloody loading. Come on, loading man. Come on. Ah, man. Okay, I have a chance.
What did you idiots do?
Okay, shut up. Nearly done. All right. And I think that's gonna be enough for one part. Good. Okay, so that was done. But I still need the Roman plaque and the Greek one. Is it? All right. Anyway, we got 2 plagues out of the 4. So hopefully... time paradox, okay. Herculean task. Divine intervention. Yeah, all the whispers, I would need all the whispers as well, but anyway, it's gonna be another time. So, as always, be good, stay safe, and see you next time. Bye bye.